Good afternoon, guys. It's Workin bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at Bitcoin to the US dollar. This is the 4-hour chart on Coinbase, guys. And last time we spoke, Bitcoin was sitting right over here, guys, approaching the apex of this wedge here, series of lower highs, higher lows. Told you as we approached the apex, we could expect a larger move to come. And as we got a little closer here, guys, I'm going to zoom in here. Damn it. Didn't mean to do that. Back on where it was. As we got a little closer, guys, we can see that we had this very manipulative move here where price here on this candle, we jumped up here to about a little over 3,900 and then immediately coming right back down, testing the bottom of this ascending support line here all the way down to about 3770, actually about 3780, excuse me, about 3780, somewhere thereabouts, guys. So extremely, what this is basically, guys, is this is clearing out stop losses in either direction. And this happened very quickly. If we zoom in here to the 30-minute chart, guys, you can see that this actually all happened in under 30 minutes. Actually, it was, I believe, let me go to the 15-minute here. Yeah, this happened in under 30 minutes. We can see we jumped up here, hit about that little over 3,900, and then collapsed down here all the way down to about 3770, 3780, somewhere thereabouts, guys. So again, driving price up here, knocking out a few short positions, and then just collapsing price down, knocking out some more long positions. And what this did more than anything else was create a ton of uncertainty into this market, guys. And as we got a little bit closer to that wedge, that was about where you would expect that breakout. I told you guys to expect a breakout in 24 to 48 hours. We're about 48 hours later, getting a little bit closer to the apex. And really, this is where this is where that breakout should have happened. Right there. Not at the apex, but very close to the apex there. And again, all we had was that manipulative move, knowing that many people were watching this, guys. So I mean, it just cannot be a coincidence that it happened right there, knowing that so many people were watching this, guys. And this caused, in my opinion, a lot of uncertainty into the market, guys. And this is why we're seeing a very lackluster breakout here. And we're breaking out, and we're right now hitting the top of an extremely relevant resistance area. If you remember, guys, I told you that I had buy orders sitting down here at 3,800. I did have a little bit more even below that slightly, which I got filled. I had buy orders stacked between 3,800 and 3,750, so that went a little bit deeper this time, triggering a few more of those orders. Price coming excuse me, coming back up, basically moving sideways now. And I told you I was going to get out if and when price hit 3,800. Not completely, but I was going to take my investment off the table if and when price hit 3,900. Price has hit 3,900 now, guys, and I went ahead and just closed my position here because I don't like what I'm seeing. We're seeing a lot of uncertainty here in the market, and as let me just go ahead and point it out here, guys. As we can see, this is an extremely relevant zone here that we're hitting right now, right there. This acted as a very decent resistance, or excuse me, support area back here on February the 20th, and of course then we massively broke down, and then what was support started acting as a very hard resistance. Did that here on the 28th of February, and then just numerous times between the beginning of March and now, and it is acting as a strong resistance now. So this is going to be a very difficult area to get through. And if we look at this, guys, from swing high to swing low, in other words, if this is in fact just a retracement of a continuation of the downtrend here, so let's go swing high to swing low and see what we're looking at, see if we can make some sense. Yeah, sure enough, what do we have? We can see that that is a perfect hit right there off that 50 fib level, guys. So we can see that that is making sense, even if even though we can see that this was a very decent resistance and or support and then resistance, we're also making sense, seeing a lot of structure in the market where if I go swing high, swing low, we can see that that's hitting perfectly right at the fib, which would be a very logical area to find resistance, which is exactly what we're looking at now. So as I said, guys, I was waiting to hopefully ride this trade up here, and then I was going to get out completely at 4,000. And I told you I was going to plan on entering a short between 4,000 and 4,120, knowing that for those of you that have missed my prior videos, there's just a very strong resistance between 4,000 and 4,120. We can just see it looking back here, guys. Price has just been unable to decisively break above that zone for a very long time, going all the way back in November was the last time we decisively broke above it. Now, by decisively, again, for those new to my videos, I mean a daily candle both opening and closing above that 4,120. We've wicked above it, but we've had yet to see a decisive break above it. And so that's kind of what I was, or that's kind of what, this is why we're identifying this area here as a very strong, one reason. We're identifying this area here as a very strong resistance. The other reason, I know I haven't shown you guys this in a while. Sorry guys, had to pause the video there and get a drink of water. So I know I haven't shown you guys this in a while, but the other reason that we're identifying this as a very strong resistance, guys, is since we had our massive breakdown from that $6,000 range, guys, where finally, or actually from this area right here between right around 5,500, we had just this massive drop. You know, this was kind of the last stand before everything just collapsed. Where did it finally find its first area of support? Was right here, guys. So if I look at that as my pivot high for this larger structure, and I go swing high, swing low off of that pivot high. We have this little candle right here, so I'll swing high off of that, go all the way down to our swing low of on Coinbase. That's right around 3130. What do we see? We can see that this is also right there perfectly at that golden pocket between the 618 and the 65 fib level, which would, I mean, even if you couldn't see all the resistance that was sitting there going back to November, you would expect it just because this is where that golden pocket is, guys, and you always know that golden pocket is going to very likely provide a lot of resistance. So this is typically, guys, this is going to be a very difficult area to bring above or to break above, and this is why I was looking to short if and when we do see a break into that area. But right now, guys, things are very uncertain at the moment. I told you that if and when price did break up here, what I'm going to be watching to see is anytime price climbs here, what do you kind of expect? Well, you expect if price is going up, you expect those short positions to start to liquidate. And you expect you expect some retail, some FOMO to enter the market, and you expect long positions to start to rise. So is that happening now? Let's go over and check shorts. Actually not. Short positions are starting, even though we've had a little bit of a rise in price, what's happening with shorts? Shorts even now are starting to continue to stack. You know, we had a little bit of a drop off here, and then in the last couple of days, we're starting to slowly start to stack here. In the last, not couple of days, in the last 2 days. Yeah, a couple of days. We're slowly starting to stack here. So that's the exact opposite of what you would expect to see when price came up there. So this tells me that that the market is expecting price to end up coming back down. Let's look at longs. Longs are basically stagnant, kind of a little bit of a juke here in the last 4 hours here to the upside, but for the most part, longs are stagnant or, you know, overall slow trickle down. So not a lot of confidence in the market for longs. And remember, I said if we did break up, I wanted to see long stacking and shorts falling off the board. And that is not what's happening here, guys. What we're seeing is longs basically remain stagnant while shorts are continuing to climb. And what that tells me is there's a lot of uncertainty in the market here. And if anything, retail believes that this market is going to end up falling back down. At least that's what the charts are telling me right now. And I believe with those short stacking, you know, what's happening is short stack. People are people shorted the market. That's holding down anybody that may be starting to buy here. This is really taming price here, and it's creating a very lackluster breakout of this wedge. And you know, the closer you get to the apex of a wedge, the less and less at a certain point, if you get very close to the apex, as we are right now, at a certain point that wedge really almost becomes invalidated, and you almost expect a little break here and then almost sideways movement, if not a break down. Right now, guys, as I said, a lot of uncertainty in the market. Shorts slowly started to stack. Those stacking in the shorts are the stacking of the shorts, I should say, stacking of short positions are really holding price down here. And I think, and I do believe if we can get a nice break above this resistance area here that sits right around 3,900, a nice decisive break above that there, guys, I do think that we may, at that point, things might turn around. And you might see a little more confident. You might see some longs slowly stacking. You might even see some shorts dropping off the board. But as of right now, we are not seeing that. So even if this does break up, if shorts slowly continue to stack and this thing becomes a short rise up to that $4,000 resistance, I'm not going to touch this, guys. I'm just going to sit on my hands. If the opposite is true, if we see a nice little break up here that's oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, volume is slowly trickling off. We're starting off this day around 10 billion for daily volume, and we're down to about 9.2 billion. Now, overall, in retrospect, over the last month, yeah, that is still a nice increase in volume from what we had seen a month ago there, but it's still a slow trickle down and not what you would expect to see as prices going up here. So yes, guys, there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market here, guys. I do believe this candle here showed a lot of manipulation that was still in the market, and the market being and market makers being able to still manipulate this market fairly well. And I really think this has scared a lot of people off here, guys. So the plan to enter a long all the way up to 4, get out of that long, and then enter the short from 4,000 to 4120, a laddered short position, 4,000 to 4120, and then targeting 3,800. That plan is kind of out the window, at least as of right now. As of right now, I'm sitting on my hands, guys, and I'm going to wait and see which direction this thing breaks. Now coming over here to the daily, guys, we can see that the daily candle is still above our 21-day EMA. That is still a bullish sign. Yesterday we came down, tapped right on top of it once again. Once again, that 21-day EMA did hold. Price came back up, and we're actually trading nicely above the 8-day EMA as of right now, guys, which again is a rather bullish sign. We're approaching the top of this, of our Bollinger. Again, we're on the daily chart, so we're approaching the top Bollinger Band here, guys, which would likely is going to provide some decent resistance. And we're also seeing very, very clearly that these Bollinger Bands here on the daily are starting to bottleneck, guys, which again tells you what and we're also seeing this 821 and 55-day EMA all very, very close to each other, still converging on each other here, which also suggests a larger move may come. Seeing the bottleneck of the Bollinger Bands here on the daily, suggesting a possible larger move still may come. But again, I remain skeptical, guys, just because I'm seeing those short positions slowly stack, and I'm seeing those long positions, just as I said, guys, basically just sitting sideways. Now, I usually don't look at the 30-minute chart, guys, but for the interest of those day traders out there, it does look like we may see a little drop in price here, at least in the short term. We have this little double top here on the 30-minute chart here, guys, but we're also almost kind of a double top. But really what we're seeing, if I kind of go point to point, it's even just a slight little increase. Why is that relevant? Because looking over here, exact same point here on the RSI, this is again on the 30-minute RSI, we are seeing a lower low. So we had almost a slightly higher high here, if not basically just a double top. But we're definitely having a lower low on the 30-minute RSI, and of course we can see on the MACD, looking at the histogram on the 30-minute, guys, we're certainly creating lower lows there. So again, that would be this being an uptrend here, that's going to be bearish divergence, and this would suggest, now it's only on the 30 minutes, so this doesn't suggest any kind of a radical move at all. It just suggests that what we may see price come back down here and retest about 38, somewhere right in our known area right here of what we've been basically just kind of sitting right on top of right here, right around 38.50-ish, somewhere thereabouts. Wouldn't be surprised to see price come back down, test this zone, and at that point have a nice little bounce right on top, or at that point just kind of basically hit this zone, either continue the sideways movement. But if we do drop with a lot of sell volume, some very decent sell volume, this thing might just crash right through it and continue right back down. We'll have to kind of wait and see how it plays out. And I know that sounds wishy-washy at the moment, guys. I know I sound just like another analyst saying, well, it may go up, it may go down, we'll just have to wait and see. And that just sounds brilliant, doesn't it? I know, I get that, guys. I understand that's frustrating. And it would behoove me just to pick a side and be confident in it and tell you guys, this is what's going to happen. It'd probably get me a lot more clicks. It'd give you guys a lot more excitement and whatnot. But I'm not going to do that, because that is not what I'm seeing on the chart. I'm seeing a lot of uncertainty on the chart right now, to the point to where I completely got out of my trade and I'm sitting on my hands. And this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do at all. I'm just telling you guys guys, this is what I'm seeing. I'm sitting on my hands, and I would, unless you're an experienced trader, not financial advice, but if it were me, I would probably sit on my hands and wait to see what this thing is going to do before I enter any kind of a major position at all. Now, if you're slowly dollar cost averaging in for the long haul, planning on holding for a year or more, yeah, by all means, I don't see any reason to change that. But if you're a day and or swing trader, guys, this is certainly a time, in my opinion, to just kind of sit back and wait and see what the trend is going to do. If we're going to break above this resistance area that we're certainly hitting right now and continue to the upside to this 4,041.20, or if thing is going to bounce off this zone and come back down and retest our 3,800 to 3,850. Just kind of watch and wait and see how this ends up playing out, guys. And certainly watching those longs and shorts, guys. Keeping an eye on those longs and shorts. If we continue to the upside and if shorts continue to stack as price is going up, be very, very careful, guys. Be very, very careful. Very likely price is going to end up crashing. But if we end up climbing there and shorts start to fall off the board, longs slowly start to stack. Excuse me, guys. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Reverse that. If price ends up climbing here and shorts are and as price is continuing to climb, shorts are stacking. At that point, price will very likely continue to the upside. Very, very likely continue to the upside. We'll have to wait and see kind of how this ends up playing out here for now. But if the opposite is true, and if price ends up climbing and these shorts start to get liquidated, at that point, guys, then I'm going to really start to look for that to short this area between 4,000 and 41.20. In other words, if we hit 4,000 or above and shorts are falling off the board here and longs are stacking and the market believes that price is going to go higher, that's when I'll short. And the opposite is also true. If we hit this zone and longs are falling off the board and shorts are stacking, and shorts are stacking, longs are falling off the board, I will definitely not short. And at that point, I might even take out a take out a long position at that point, because if the market believes it's going to go down, you better believe there's a good chance that market makers will just do the opposite and take price right back up. So I'll have to wait and see. And if we do break above this as I always tell you, if we do break above 41.20 with volume, a decisive break, by decisive, again, I mean a daily candle opening and closing above 41.20. If and when that does happen, guys, that will change my analysis, and I will start to get immediately start to get rather bullish. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. As always, would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Till next time, guys, please trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Workin, signing.